I was born to leave something behind for all the world to see. A job well done that I call mine. It stands the test of...
Washington District Council is our home right here, as well as the Mid-Atlantic Region office. So we're very proud to make Northern Virginia our home, even though our area covers half the state of Virginia, Washington D.C., and most of the state of Maryland. We've got a really big area that we cover. Actually, our public service employee local goes all the way into North Carolina, so we cover a really large area. Northern Virginia, though, this is our home. Very, very important to us. We're very passionate about our politicians and trying to not only to keep things where they're at now, but to make them better for our members and those that want to be members. Our district council makes up three different locals that make up our district council. We've got local 572. It's Sonia Lozano over here representing local 572. Local 572 is a public service employee local. So what they do, they're janitors. They clean places like that. Unfortunately, there's forces in our Commonwealth that think there's something wrong with that folks like you all shouldn't be paid a living wage or have family health insurance for retirement. That's a bad thing. We know that Ralph feels differently. We know that for a fact. I'd like to have somebody talk a little bit here about the difference in her life when she started out as a janitor at the Pentagon. She lives in Manassas, was working at the Pentagon, and now she's a proud member of Local 572, business agent, and the treasurer of the local. Come on up.
My name is Sonia Lozano. I was born and raised in El Salvador. I moved to Virginia in 2001. I worked many I was blessed that I found a job at the Pentagon, and they paid, to me it was a 50% raise, because instead of getting $6-7, I was getting 12 plus all the benefits. So LiUNA opened the doors for me. They were there for me. They made a change for my family. Now I have done everything I could to better myself. I finished college and I ran into the office. Now I've been the treasurer, elected treasurer for two periods for almost 7 years. So in behalf of all our members, I welcome you here, and I also let you know that we are here. We're going to support you, and whatever you do, what you have been doing, it has been affecting. We have seen a change since you've been in the office, and we really hope that we can do that big push to take you over and to help you become the governor and to do the election. So please remember that our members, we are construction members, and we are government employees. We are immigrants. We are many Virginians. All we want is, for us to be respected and not forget about it.
Thank you so much.
Every day to make a difference in our lives. He's up here. He wants to meet with you, to talk with you, to find out about your needs. I am so proud to support you now.
Something that you guys may all not know is that Ralph actually is a pediatric neurosurgeon. You can barely say that. So if you think about what's his commitment to the Commonwealth of Virginia, so I'm pretty sure that a pediatric neurosurgeon does really well, and that's something what it take you maybe a dozen years or so before you could do that. So he's put that on hold, right? So, I mean, he's saying, okay, put his business on hold to come and serve as a lieutenant governor of Virginia, and now to put in this incredible effort to be our next governor.
I do want to just give you a little bit of my history and why I feel so strongly about what I do for labor. I grew up on a small farm. I'm a product of public education. My first job courtesy clerk. I called it bag boy when I was back in high school, but I worked at a grocery store. I then went on, I worked on a construction crew. We put pipe, ditching pipe down. We also built asphalt roading. Worked on Tangier Island, a little island in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. We built the airstrip there. I was part of that construction crew. And then I went and I was a mate on a fishing boat for 2 years. And the point I want to make is that I worked for less than minimum wage. When I worked on the fishing boat, I relied on tips, and some days were good. And as you all know, if anybody has to rely on tips, some days they're not. Some days I went home empty-handed. And what I realized at an early age is that nobody was looking out for Ralph. I didn't have anybody making sure that I got team is going to get us across the finish line.
That's right.
Sonia, thank you so much for your kind words. And just a couple things I want to say. When I was growing up, I grew up on Virginia's Eastern Shore, which is a very rural part of Virginia. But we had an exchange student from El Salvador, and the intention was to help me learn my Spanish a little bit better. And our exchange student named Roberto, he wanted to learn English. So anyway, my Spanish is not as good as it should be, but what a wonderful story. And your story about coming from another country, we need to remind that our country was built with immigrants, and we need to continue to have our doors open. Our lights are on. That's the way Virginia will be. It's inclusive now, and it will continue to be that way. I don't want to trespass on too much of your time, but I do want to just give you a little bit of my history and why I feel so strongly about what I do for labor. I grew up on a small farm. I'm a product of public education. My first job was as they call it now courtesy clerk. I called it bag boy when I was back in high school, but I worked at a grocery store. I then went on, I worked on a construction crew. We put pipe, ditching pipe down. We also built asphalt roading. Worked on Tangier Island, a little island in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay. We built the airstrip there. I was part of that construction crew. And then I went and I was a mate on a fishing boat for 2 years. And the point I want to make is that I worked for less than minimum wage. When I worked on the fishing boat, I relied on tips. And some days were good. And as you all know, if anybody has to rely on tips, some days they're not. Some days I went home empty-handed. And what I realized at an early age is that nobody was looking out for Ralph. I didn't have anybody making sure that I got paid what I should get paid. I didn't have any, so I appreciate that. I've also, and I know Denny's not here today, but I have established a great working relationship with Denny. We've had an open door policy. If he sees something that I need to be doing, or vice versa, we call each other, and that's really what good government is about, good representation. But you know, one of the things that Danny emphasizes is when you walk around or drive around Virginia and see things like the metro or buildings or clean Pentagons, we take for granted sometimes who's doing that work. And it's sometimes not the safest work, and as you said, it's sometimes not the most pleasant work. And that's why we need to stand up and make sure that your rights are taken care of. So Denny and LiUNA has taught me a lot. One of the things that we have emphasized are PLAs, project labor agreements. And you know, he is very proud, and I know you are very proud as well, that the projects you work on come in under schedule, under time, but you finish them before the schedule was there, and under budget, and in safe environments. And that's not something that everybody can say. So that's something that LiUNA should be proud of. Two other things, and then I promise I won't trespass on any more of your time, but minimum wage is important. I just mentioned that growing up on the shore, my first job, believe it or not, I got paid $1.10 an hour. And I know that was well below, even back then, what minimum wage was. But there is nobody that can support themselves and their family.
Of time, proud of everything I do, and every step gets stronger. Building for tomorrow, 'cause I know